sector, the cabs should have license offices in China so that they can guide us and they can traverse the market and understand how this economy has been improving and transfer the same technology to us in Kenya, also including KRA. We also desire to give priority to students who have worked here and to teachers and other workforce who have been here in China to be absorbed back home in Kenya so that they can transfer the same skills to our economy. Through the Office of the President, I would like to invite the CS Education to come and do a study case on how CBC has been working in China. It's still working, and it's becoming better and better every time. And I've seen we have adopted CBC. China has excelled in it, so we need to appreciate. Mr. President, karibu sana China. Enjoy your stay. I would love to say more, but I know the time is of essence. But before I leave, I also want to thank you for the first time we feel the embassy so much. The mission in Beijing is of the best. Led by our deputy ambassador, always is a big sister to us. She studied here, and she understands the assignment. She goes city to city, trying to meet Kenyans, and even our leader, Ambassador Willie Bate, visits even the prisoners because they are Kenyans. And he sometimes anachangianga pesa kidogo ya kupiga simu nyumbani. This means our mission is not well funded. So you need to consider also, in China it's a big land, and our office here must be funded well so that it can achieve the goals. Kwa haya machache, nashukuru sana na karibu.
Thank you. Your Excellency, I think let me not waste any more time. Karibu, if you can all stand and just stretch and clap for His Excellency the President. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's take our seats. Asante sana. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Hamjambo. It's a privilege for me to be here at this point in time while undertaking a state visit to this great country. As you're all aware, the relationship between Kenya and China is 62 years old. In fact, it is documented that China was the 4th country to recognize Kenya as an independent state only 2 days after independence. And it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes of the strength and depth of the relationship between Kenya and China. My visit here underscores that solid foundation built over many years to cement the relationship between our country and China. As you are aware, China has been instrumental in matters, infrastructure, and general development in our country. We have built the standard gauge railway, 600 kilometers from Mombasa to Naivasha with a partnership of China. We have built the Lamu port that now has 3 berths that are complete with the support of China. We have built the Nairobi Expressway that today facilitates the journey from the airport to the CBD, a journey that sometimes would take up to 2.5 hours Today, it takes between 10 and 15 minutes. And with China, we have also built the Thika superhighway, a piece of infrastructure that we have now extended from Thika to Kenol all the way to Maroa in Nyeri. And we are in discussion on many other aspects. I know many people here know that some of the roads to rural Kenya have been built with technology and companies supported by this country. And so we have a robust relationship between Kenya and China. And my visit this time round, being the first head of state to visit after the FOCAC meeting last year, speaks to the value China attaches to Kenya and the friendship that exists between our two countries. And we all know that there is a lot happening today globally. And sometimes people ask, and they ask me, is Kenya facing east to China, or is it facing west to the US? And I have answered that question that Kenya is neither facing east nor west. We are facing forward. And we want to build mutually beneficial win-win relationships with as many friends as possible. And my mission here this time round is to discuss, amongst many things, how we can invest in the future, not just of Kenya, but of our region, with support and partnership of friends like China and others. I have already had conversations on investment opportunities. Many people get worried that we are only discussing loans and credit and things like those. I want to tell you that we are becoming more innovative in how to finance development. There are new instruments that can enable us deliver on public infrastructure using private resources and technology. And that is the kind of conversation we are having with both the public and the private sector in China. We are having a conversation, for example, on how to develop the Rironi-Mau Summit Road, making that road a 6-lane piece of infrastructure from Nairobi to beyond Nakuru. That discussion is among the discussions we are having with both the public and private sector here. And it is my belief that we should be able to begin that construction between June and July this year and take it to its logical conclusion. Beyond Mau Summit, we should be able to take it all the way to the border in Malaba. That is the request I have from the people of Kenya, and we are actively working on it. We will also be concluding discussions on the development of road infrastructure I was here last year, and we signed off on 2 billion RMB facility that will help us conclude some of the roads in Kenya. We will be discussing investments in other areas of water and how we can leverage the private sector to drive that development of infrastructure. That is why I have officials from the Ministry of Water here. We will be discussing interventions on connectivity between Kenya and China, discussing the connectivity in terms of direct flights between this country and Kenya. Very importantly, we will be discussing trade. As you are aware, we have trade that is growing between our two countries. In fact, statistics show that we are all the way to $8 billion of trade between Kenya and China. Our concern as Kenya is that that trade is not balanced. And it is the conversation we are having. And tomorrow, we will be signing a framework agreement on the economy and trade. And that framework agreement is going to give us the opportunity to discuss a bilateral trade agreement between Kenya and China. And I just had a meeting this afternoon with the Prime Minister, and he agreed with me that that trade needs to be balanced. As you are aware, Kenya is importing close to $4.5 billion of goods and services from China. And yet, we are exporting only about $200 or $250 million. I mean, in Kenya shillings terms, we are exporting about 30 billion shillings to China and importing 600 billion shillings from China. That kind of relationship, we all agree, is not sustainable, is not balanced, and therefore needs a thorough conversation. It is one of the pertinent issues that I have come to sign off the agreement, because immediately we are going to discuss on how we can bring down the barriers on market access by Kenyan tea, Kenyan coffee, Kenyan macadamia, Kenyan avocado, and all other Kenyan products into this country. It is the most feasible way for us to balance trade. As you are all aware, our tea and coffee are premium products globally. In fact, Chinese companies admit that Kenyan tea and coffee is premium coffee, but today it is subjected to tariffs, and that is what impedes the export of our tea and coffee and macadamia and avocados to this country. And the discussion we are going to have is how we can have a preferential trade agreement that gives Kenya preferential access, the same way we have AGOA that gives duty-free, quota-free access for our goods to the US. The discussion we're going to have is that of a duty-free, quota-free access to the Chinese market for our products. That way, we can export more to this country, export better products, and we're going this time around to be exporting processed agro products into this market. I am very happy that we have made tremendous progress in this pursuit. I remember when I appointed Willie Bett here, my assignment to him was we must open the Chinese market. I am happy that now the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment is aligned. And I came here with Lee Kinyanjui, CS responsible, and his assignment is clear, that by the end of this year, we must have a preferential trade agreement between Kenya and China that will give us market access for our products. In fact, immediately we sign the framework agreement tomorrow, Lee Kinyanjui and team might remain behind to make sure that they progress the conversation towards a preferential trade agreement shortly. And so I am very happy to be in this great city, and I want to congratulate all of you, whether you are students or professionals or business people, for daring abroad and doing what you're doing in China, either sharpening your skills in schools, colleges, and universities, or you are deploying your knowledge and expertise in the professional space here in China, or those of you who are doing business. And when I ran for president, I did commit that I will have a diaspora department that will, whose business it will be to manage the affairs of Kenyans in diaspora, to respond to their issues, and to serve them so that we can better leverage on the expertise, the knowledge, the efforts of people in diaspora to drive the development of our country. I'm very happy with what Roslyn Jogu, my CS, my PS for Diaspora Affairs, working under PCS here, and him and his team with Isaiah here, and all the other members of that team will continuously work with the embassy staff to see to it that Kenyans in the diaspora are served as best as we can, just the same way we work for the rest of Kenyans at home. Finally, I am sure you are following on developments back home in terms of the implementation of our program and our plan. Just so that you know, our housing program is underway. We have close to 150,000 houses being built around Kenya. Majority of them will be ready this year. In fact, I will be handing over keys to the first 4,000 units next month, and it will be continuous. You now have an opportunity working in the diaspora to buy some of those housing units. You do not have to depend on your family members or your friends, who I am told occasionally run away with your money. You will now have a place to buy a house without any hassle. And the ministry responsible for housing will let you know how you can book for a unit online. You don't need to know anybody. You don't need any brokers. You don't need to see anybody. You can book a unit online. And somebody's going to tell you exactly how that is done shortly. To also tell you that I did commit that we are going to have a different savings culture. As you are aware, since independence, we have been paying a very small fraction for our social security. In fact, up to 2 years ago, we were paying 200 shillings for everybody to National Social Security Fund. And in 60 years, we only managed to save 320 billion shillings. In fact, we have a smaller social security, smaller than Tanzania and smaller than Uganda. Yet we have a bigger economy. But I made the decision that we are going to change the regulations and the law governing savings in Kenya. Why? Because investment is a function of savings. You cannot invest if you don't have any savings. You have nothing to invest. And just for your information, China, savings in China is 55% of their GDP. In Kenya, we were at 8%, maybe 9%, maybe 10%. It is my intention to push savings as a percentage of GDP to between 25 and 30%. That is where a majority of countries are. And because of the changes we have made, the good news is that while we collected or saved 320 billion shillings for 60 years, in 2 years, we have doubled our savings, just in 2 years. By the end of this year, we will have 650 billion shillings saved because of the changes we have made. And by 2027, we will have 1 trillion saved. That is why I am not very popular with people who don't want to save. But for the people who want to save, they know what difference that is making. And that is how we are going to stop borrowing from other countries. We will be borrowing from our own savings to finance our own development. And if we must pay interest, let us pay interest to our own workforce in Kenya who are saving, instead of paying interest for, I don't want to mention countries where we are borrowing, where we are borrowing money. You know, the money we are borrowing from China, for example, is savings of the Chinese people, right? And you know that we are paying interest, and we are not paying small money. Why would we not pay Kenyans who are saving? That's the question I ask. So, I'm very happy with the progress that we are making, and progressively, people are beginning to see the reality of some of the interventions we are undertaking. I am also sure that you are aware that we have reformed our funding of our education system. We have straightened the CBC program that your chairman talked about. In 2022, there was a very big debate as to the implementation of CBC and the direction it was going. Immediately I came into office, I set up a presidential task force that gave us a way forward. And in 2 years, we've hired a record 76,000 teachers to support that program. We have changed the funding model. Today, the 23 universities that were almost bankrupt, if you speak to the vice chancellors of those universities, they will tell you the new funding model. And I have one chancellor here, who is a member of the Diaspora. This Chancellor of Cooperative University. He will tell you that that new funding model has made a whole difference in funding our universities and making sure that children, especially from poor backgrounds, get scholarships up to 90%, so that we give equal opportunity to all our children and that our education system leaves no child behind. You may also want to know that we have rolled out our universal health coverage program, commonly known as Taifa Care or SHA. And I was looking at the numbers last night. I get a report every evening at 10 p.m. And yesterday, 55,000 Kenyans registered. On average, every day, between 45 and 60,000 Kenyans register. For the first time, people who have never been on health insurance are experiencing health insurance. In the past, NHIF was reserved for people who were either salaried or they were in a position to pay. This time round, we have rolled out universal health coverage, a matter we have always wanted to do. I remember the NAC administration wanted to do it. And I remember we tried to do it under the Jubilee administration. And we couldn't manage. But I'm very proud that this time round, we took time, we created a legal framework. We took almost 2 years of planning, crafting the right framework, the right legislation, the right regulations. And today, I can proudly say that as opposed to NHIF, which had 7 million people registered, we now have 21 million Kenyans registered under SHA. And I am confident that we will get finally, with the registration that is going on now, we will finally get to universality on matters health. And the program gives everybody a chance. For those who can pay, you pay in accordance with your income. And for those who cannot pay, the government of Kenya will step in to pay for indigents and the people who cannot be able to pay. I am very happy with the progress that has been achieved. And you now from the diaspora can pay health insurance for your family members if you want to. You can, from the comfort of your office, you can register yourself. Members of your family can be registered. You can register your dependents. You can pay for them online. And you don't have to go to any office. Today, we have moved Matters Health to a digital platform. Imagine those, whenever you went to hospital, the doctor used to write on a piece of paper. And it graduated to an exercise book. Somebody had an exercise book the doctor wrote somewhere. We no longer have the exercise books. Now it is on a digital platform. You don't have to carry no exercise book. All you need to do is to go to a hospital, produce your ID, and your health record will be pulled from a digital platform. And the doctor will know which hospital you have gone to, what medicine you have been given, what is your health history, and they can take it up from there. We have also eliminated, using that digital platform, many quack doctors, fake hospitals, and many other fraudulent activities that informed our health infrastructure before. Because now it is not possible to treat anybody unless they are identified. There were incidences, for example, where one person was amputated 10 times in the old system because there was no health record and it was easy to fraudulently make claims to NHIF. That is not possible anymore because once you are identified that you are amputated twice, the system will not agree for you to be amputated again because they will know that your limbs are finished. So we also had incidences of very small hospitals which were performing very many surgeries. That again has been brought under control. Unfortunately, there will be some casualties. There are many hospitals, private facilities that will close down. Why? Because they were built on fake claims, which are no longer available. So we can only pay under this system for a service that has been provided. It is not possible anymore to make any fake claims. And so we are making steady progress, and I am confident with the transformation that Kenya is going through. Let me finalize by saying we are transforming our agricultural sector. You remember in 2022, we had many people in the streets of Nairobi with sufurias on top of their heads because unga was 240 shillings, that kind of thing. We have since reorganized that space and working with farmers with clarity of intervention, making sure that we don't subsidize consumption, as I said, but instead we support production. The reason why today the prices of unga have significantly come down from 230, now we are talking of 130, 140 shillings. Sometimes it comes down to 100, and I'm very happy with the progress that we have achieved in that space. Today, if you ask, because of the reform we have carried out in the agricultural sector, milk that was retailing at 35, 38 shillings, we now have standardized milk prices at 50 shillings to the farmer. Coffee that was selling at 50 shillings a kilo, if you check from your members of your families, this year we had the best prices of coffee because we supported farmers with fertilizer, and we have removed cartels, people who were farmers, brokers, millers, and buyers at the same time. And they significantly undermined the whole coffee sector. Today, coffee that was retailing at 50 shillings, 60 shillings a kilo, on average, is 110 to 140 shillings a kilo. And if any one of you is a coffee farmer, you will bear me witness. This year, last year again, we made huge progress with our tea The year before, our total earnings from tea was 170 billion shillings. Last year, it moved all the way to 215 billion, the highest in Kenya's history. Again, because of favorable weather and because of the investments we made in promoting production of our tea sector. We have just concluded, for those of you who come from the sugar belt, the notorious sugar problem that has been with us for 30, 40 years. We've just concluded the reform of that sector. And for those of you who follow Kenyan news, the cartel in that sector was so vicious that I had to tell them, mambo ni matatu. And ever since I told them mambo ni matatu, now we have concluded the reform of that sector. And my intention is that, like the other sectors, the sugar sector that has suffered for many years, we are now the factories will now be able to pay farmers on time, pay workers on time, and for the first time, pay bonus to sugarcane farmers. The first factory did that last year. That is Mumias. And this year, we have concluded the reform process of Chemelil, Miwani, Mohoroni, Soni, and Zoya. And by the end of this year, you will see a very big difference. Just because of the interventions we made. Last year, contrary to what we have done all the years, we imported very little sugar. And in the next 2 to 3 years, Kenya will be a sugar exporting country. Because of the interventions we made, 200,000 acres of new land was put under sugar production, because farmers can now see that there is seriousness in the sugar sector. So, this is the interventions we are making as a government. We are pulling our country in the right direction, and I am very confident that Kenya is going to be a better place for all of us. We must consistently, persistently work together towards making Kenya this great country that we all want it to be. It is not going to happen overnight. It is not going to be easy, but it is worth all our effort to make it work. I have every intention to make it work. And I am committed to transforming this, our country. And I want to tell you, failure is not an option. It is not an option. We are going to make our country great because we have all the ingredients to make it happen. We have a hardworking population. We have the resources that we need, and we have the commitment to match what we require to push our country forward. I invite you, as Kenyans in diaspora, to work with us, to leverage on all the possibilities that exist for us to forge a collaboration, a coalition of making our country succeed. The media will not stop us. The social media will not stop us. The naysayers will not stop us. Kenya must succeed. Do you understand? We have no option. We have to succeed. So I just want to tell you that that is the way to the future. So asanteni sana. I don't want to make this a lecture. You know, I'm also a scholar, so sometimes I get tempted to speak. So let me leave it there, maybe pick up some ideas from you guys on what your thoughts are and where you think we can do better for the progress of our country. Thank you very much. God bless you. And it is my pleasure to speak to you. Asanteni sana. Okay. I'm informed that there is another meeting. Eh? I have 30 minutes here. Okay. I have 30 minutes because there is another virtual meeting with the Secretary General of the UN on matters of peace and security in our region. And you know, we have security men supporting our brothers and sisters in Haiti and all the other issues that are regional in nature. So I will take a few questions from this great audience.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, and the esteemed First Lady, Mama Rachel Ruto, we want to thank you so much for this great honor to engage with the diaspora in China. As you can see, we represent various groups, and because of time, I'll allow the different regions coming from all over China. As you know, we have 22 provinces here. And we have a very large business community who have come from different places. We also have a very big student fraternity that wish to engage with you, and the professionals, the teachers, and expatriates. So without further ado, let us begin our Q&A, and let us make our comments very brief. Let's start with the regional representative.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Your Excellency, Mama, distinguished dignitaries, we welcome you to China. In Chinese language, we tell you, Huang Inzhongguo, and you say, Shishini. Good student. So, Your Excellency, my name is David Shimuti. We've got a few pressing issues on how we want to better our lives in China. And one of the aspects that we are going to discuss is the aspect of our duration of stay in China. Having realized that we've got a window whereby our reciprocity doctrine has not been established in having the same kind of visa, I've got a recommendation, not a question, that this is the right time for us to establish at least 2 years as a first timer who is coming to China from Kenya. Wakenya wetu wakuja hapa na miaka 2. Mchinese akienda nyumbani aende miaka 2, achukue pesa yetu yao huku wapeleke huko. Si tuchukue watu wetu tuwalete hapa watafute kazi. Itakuwa rahisi kwetu sisi. Jambo la pili,
just so that I understand, students or business?
Business people, because the student come with a student visa.
Okay.
Yes. The second question.
So business visa for 2 years?
For 2 years. Yeah. We can have a single exit of after 6 months, mtu anatoka anarudi, which is okay. The second aspect that we're going to have a look at are the revenue, ama the tax value. Majority of our business people are losing due to the shift in the East African bloc. The focus now is running to Tanzania, Rwanda, Uganda. To an extent, even Kenyans are going to Uganda to buy goods and come sell back to China. Meaning that the trading in Kenya is suffocating. We are suffocating. Therefore, we request that you look at the value. Just review kidogo. From 18% at some point, songesha hata 12%. From 25 hapo, cheza na hiyo maneno, wewe unajua hii maneno. Tutafanya biashara tukiwa watu wengi sana. Na jambo la muhimu sana ninapomalizia nikipatiana hii microphone, because I know it's only 30 minutes that you have. You are a good father. And as you can see, all these faces are smiling. Na tuliambiwa kwamba mkono mtupu haulambwi. Wewe kama baba yetu tunashukuru sana umekuja. Umetengeneza mikataba na wa Chinese. Na mimi nasaidia wanafunzi kuja kusoma hapa China. I want to be also part of the people that are going to sign an agreement with you. I'm very happy that Honorable Kinyanjui is remaining behind. Tafadhali, unione. So, I want to give the president a gift, because wa Chinese wamempatia gift. Hata mimi naweza pia mpatia moja. Akifanya kazi nzuri kule, atakuwa anakumbuka. Sinaruhusiwa? Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much, David. Let me just say so that maybe somebody else does not ask the same question. I think the business visa for 2 years is a discussion we're going to have. I think it's a good proposal, if it is, especially if it is reciprocal. If you scratch my back, I scratch yours. We will consider that as part of the conversation we are going to have around the economic partnership framework that we are signing tomorrow. But on matters to do with what you're saying, you know, let me just explain to you why sometimes people find it easy to go to Uganda or Tanzania for purposes of getting goods and services to this country. It is exactly the problem I want to solve by signing the bilateral labor agreement. You know, the difference between us and our neighbors is that Kenya is in the middle income category. Our neighbors, Tanzania, Uganda, and all the other neighbors are in the least developed countries. They are in LCDs, LDCs, and we are in the other countries. So we are categorized higher than them, and therefore, while they export duty-free, Kenya exports with duty. And that is why you heard me say that is the agreement we want to negotiate. We want to negotiate a preferential trade agreement that will now put Kenya at par with our neighbors. You will not be experiencing the problems you are experiencing today. That is the agreement we want to sign, that today Kenya is different from the other countries because of the categorization of our economy as opposed to our neighbors. And that is the reason why we are having this conversation. That is the reason why we are signing the economic framework tomorrow that will now give us the opportunity to negotiate a preferential trade agreement that will eliminate the current duties and levies that are levied on Kenyan products being exported to this country. I don't know whether I'm communicating. Okay? Thank you very much. Yes?
Yeah. Your Excellency, Mr. President. Your Excellency, Mr. President. Dignitaries, Madam First Lady, the PM. Welcome to China. Hoingon Chingwa. I had a lot, but now we've condensed the time. I represent the professionals in China. My name is Brandy Karani. Now, the gentleman here has asked a very important questions about business visas. This is the thorniest issue we have. I've been here for 15 years, and I can tell you is the most important question. To designate Kenyan workers coming to China, the biggest job here in China is teaching English. Kenyans here, they are very good teachers of English, and I'm a lecturer. I teach world history in an international high school. Kenyans can be able to teach English in this country. Not only one, not two, but in drones, 100,000. Just last year, we had 672 billion Kenyan shilling remittances from Kenyans in diaspora. Early this month, the DTWG team led by Dan Mokile, which I'm a member, met with the Prime Cabinet Secretary. They had a diaspora going on. Congratulations. PS Rosalind Jogu was there. She's done an incredible good job. She's assisted us a lot, and we are happy. First of all, let's congratulate the President. Mr. President is the first person to give us a diaspora department. We've waited for a very long time, from the Kibaki administration to Uhuru administration, and when you came into power, Mr. President, asante sana, you gave us the diaspora department. Now to the question. We would like Kenya to be designated as an English-speaking country. And why this is very important, because once you designate Kenya, even South Africans, they don't speak good English like we speak. Once you designate Kenya as an English-speaking country, in your bilateral talks with Xi Jinping, we can be able to get work permits to work in China. That's how it goes. Designation, and then number two, work permits. Once we get work permits, this one's going to have a lot of teachers in Kenya coming to work here. And you don't need to be a teacher to come and work in China. You can come and work in China. Then the business people, once the work permits are out, the business people can be able to have visa reciprocity. Because workers can be able to get working visas, even the business people can be able to get those 2 years visas. The students, I don't know if the student is here. Is there a student leader? The students who are in China cannot work in China. The same part will make the students also be given the permission at least to work and not depend on their parents back home. So, Mr. President, this is the most important thing. As far as Kenyans in China are concerned, this is the most important. My question, with the same designation of diaspora department and the Prime Cabinet Secretary here, can you assist us, please, get that designation of English, then move forward and get those work permits so that we can bring Kenyans here. The 672 billion shillings we're talking about will trickle to 1 trillion Kenyan shillings. That is the way forward. I think that's what you want, and that's all. Thank you so much.
Is that Mr. Karani? Did you say Karani? Mr. Karani, thank you very much. Let me just say the following. Just ask you, Mr. Karani. Did you say you want more Kenyans to come and work in China?
Absolutely, yes.
Are you sure about that? No, just answer my question. You asked me the question, let me answer, let me ask you. So, did you say you want more Kenyans to come and work in China? Very good. So, I hope you help me answer the many people in Kenya who tell me that I am exporting Kenyans. You know, I have a big problem with I have a big problem with people who are telling me that I should be creating jobs for people in Kenya, which I am trying. But if there is opportunity elsewhere, I mean, is there anything wrong with Kenyans accessing opportunities elsewhere? I hope some people are listening to this so that the people in Kenya who are fighting me and telling me I'm exporting people, they should understand that we are in a world that is a global village. And we should explore opportunities everywhere. And I am very proud of the Kenyans who have taken up the opportunities that are available, that are available globally. And it is the reason why I set up the Diaspora State Department. So already it is in my radar, and CS for PCS and TS for Diaspora and Foreign Affairs, together with Roslyn Jogu, my PS for Diaspora, are seized with that matter. We have signed several bilateral labor agreements that provide the framework you're looking for. It is our intention to pursue the same bilateral labor agreement that will also provide for Kenya being designated as an English-speaking country. In any case, Kenyans speak the best English than in any other country in Africa. And that is the correct position. So you're spot on, and you have given me an assignment, and I intend to report back shortly. So, Bwana Musalia, kazi kwako, and your team. PS Korir here, Ambassador, and Isaiah Kabira here. You know what you need to do so that we can get more teachers teaching globally, because we have developed a global workforce. We have developed one of the finest human resource that can work anywhere in the world. And we should deploy it to the advantage of Kenya. And that is the reason why labor mobility is one of the programs that I actively pursue, because I know it gives opportunities to many Kenyans. Today, we have close to 300,000 trained teachers in Kenya. The choice is, should they find opportunities elsewhere in the world, or should they wait for opportunities in Kenya? I think whenever the opportunity arises, whether it is in Kenya or in a foreign country, they should take up that responsibility. Thank you very much. So I have some assignment from you. I know we are running short of time, but let me give another 2 people.
Your Excellency.
Yes, proceed, Madam.
Your Excellency, I recognize you. I also recognize Mama Rachel, and I stand on existing protocol. I do not represent any constituency, Your Excellency, because I am the only United Nations employee in Kenya, in China, from Kenya. We have 27 United Nations agencies in Beijing. I'm the only Kenyan. I apologize for coming late. I send the greetings of Sid Chatterjee, the resident coordinator here, who I was representing at another meeting with the Undersecretary General for Humanitarian Affairs, Mr. Tom Fletcher, who also said is your friend. So I excused myself from that meeting. Absolutely. So 3 quick points, Your Excellency. We ask you a lot of questions, but let me give you feedback. This is my 2nd time in China. I was here for 4 years, left, came back. I've been here for 2 years. I have had the privilege of interacting with 4 Kenyan ambassadors to China. And so I give an objective assessment. Ambassador Bett and his team are a first-in-class It is an objective assessment. It is no criticism or judgment of previous leadership. He elevated excellence to a class or a level in Beijing that we have not seen. And really all credit to Ambassador Bett and the Kenya mission team. They make us proud. We carry our heads high with pride. I did indicate that I'm the only Kenyan in the United Nations system here. I am in discussion with your PS, Sing'oei. I am an international civil servant. There are things I cannot disclose in a public gathering of this nature. But I did want to draw to your attention that the last time we had a Kenyan at the level of Undersecretary General was Muhisa Kitui. I think we need to amend that. But let me come back to what the multilateral system does in China. While you are negotiating on the bilateral front, I would like you, Your Excellency, to know that there is a multilateral engagement between UN agencies in China and countries outside of China. So as a UN agency representative, and my colleagues do the same thing, we have a dual mandate. We engage on domestic issues in China, but it is my duty to ensure that the developing South benefits from China's vast South-South cooperation initiatives. And so, Your Excellency, we receive grant money. The UN system receives grant money from the Chinese government, from the Chinese public sector, to provide to countries primarily in Africa. Because China prides itself with the friendship it has with African countries. I do want to ask Your Excellency, on those engagements, your ambassador does very, very well. What we need is reciprocal attention and fast action in Kenya when those initiatives come up. Because I have to inform you that sometimes we see an opportunity here, and remember, it is not only Kenya. Ghana is waiting. Ethiopia is around the corner. Rwanda is also keen. So we need to find a way to connect better around those initiatives that are available here for development in Africa. I want to thank His Excellency the Ambassador, because right now we have negotiated a partnership on the FOCAC, Africa Solar Belt, which is around renewable energy for essential services for children. This is coming to Kenya, but we can do much more. And I'm saying the pace is not as quick or as efficient as it could be. I thank you, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, Madam Ama. Madam Ama, thank you very much.
Yes,
it is very rare to get compliments from Kenyans. So, you are amazing. And thank you very much for saying what it is. If somebody does something good, it is better if it is said. So thank you very much. And let me also agree with you that we need to improve on the turnaround time for matters between embassies and headquarters. I think P.S. Korir and your team, you need to pull up your socks so that whenever there are issues that require headquarters to provide direction or to engage in a certain manner, we can improve on the efficiency around that turnaround time. And with the expanded mandate of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to include all the diaspora issues, and with an extra PS, I think there should be demonstrable progress in the efficiency around foreign affairs. And I agree with you that we need a country strategy. In fact, one of the issues I have discussed with Rosalind Jogu is how we can deliberately place Kenyans in some of the UN positions that arise. We have some of the best human capital anywhere in the world. There is no reason, absolutely, why we do not have undersecretaries in the United Nations. And therefore, I agree with you, and I'm sure the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi is going to provide leadership on that front. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Somebody, okay, Madam?
Your Excellency, President of our beautiful Republic of Kenya, Mr. Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the First Lady, Mama Rachel Ruto, all protocol observed. Huanying Dao Zhongguo. Welcome to China. The reason I'm saying this is because I have been here for close to 20 years now. And being here has meant that I have worked tirelessly to promote our beautiful country, especially in matters to do with tourism and education. I head the Institute of Kenya, Africa-China Languages and Cultural Exchange Center at Tianjin Normal University, which actually is is working with Kenya Bureau of Standards to do research on coming with the most or the best quality of avocados to be exported to the to the Chinese market. That's one of the things that we do there. However, my note would be for tourism, because being here, China is a huge country with a huge population, and if we can get at least 1% of Chinese people into our country, we can raise our tourism revenue so high. However, we need platforms to do this, and this is to the in the case of live streaming. We can use social media so much in portraying our beautiful country. We can have influencers. You know, influencers do a good job. We can have influencers to go around in our tourist sites and to at least showcase our country and reach out to the Chinese audience. And so my question would be, would there be a department to help us to do this? On my part, I have a communications business which can actually be used for the live streaming work, and if we can work together with the Ministry of ICT, the Ministry of Tourism, I think we can really expand so much in reaching out to the Chinese audience. So, Mr. President, thank you so much for giving us this platform, and we hope that you can use us to make our country great. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam. I didn't get your name.
Sorry, my name is Dr. Ruth Njeri, and I work at Tianjin Normal University.
Thank you. Ruth. You're spot on. We need a partnership with every Kenyan, because ultimately, each and every one of us as patriots have a responsibility to play in making Kenya what we all want it to be. So from wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it is important that you see how best you can positively profile our country. Just to inform you that on matters tourism, you're spot on. In fact, tomorrow we will be signing an agreement between Chinese media and our communications authority on specifically matters to do with tourism. And in fact, for the last 2 years, you may have noticed that with one of the Chinese channels, we've been live streaming the wildebeest migration out of Kenya. And in fact, this year, I intend to be part of the occasion. And I think last year they live streamed for, I think, 3 days continuously. And we got huge response. In fact, our tourism numbers from China went up to 91,000 last year because of some of those interventions. The whole tourism sector, the numbers grew by close to 450,000 last year, going up from about 2 million visitors to 2.45 million visitors. It is our intention to move it this year to 3 million. And some of the interventions you're talking about, Dr. Njeri, are the interventions that will make us achieve the number 3 million, progressively to 5 million visitors in 2027, hopefully. So we will find the mechanisms. I'm sure Balozi here knows that we will be signing the agreements tomorrow with the Communication Authority of Kenya, with the Chinese media. And from there, you can connect people like Njeri into the ecosystem so that we can all play our role in supporting the tourism and pushing the tourism numbers for our country. I think because of time, maybe Daktari here, Mr. Chancellor.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Mine is just a proposal to you and colleagues in government, especially for us in the multilateral space. Apart from the diaspora State Department profiling us in the diaspora, it can share most of us who are in the multilateral organization, especially our professions. For example, those who are at AIB or World Bank or AFDB in climate with the PS for climate. Because we find ourselves leading on some vertical funds, but because of who we are, we cannot be able to reach the PS. And it's easier to, once the PS knows how to access working level colleagues in multilateral institutions, they can tap on some innovative financing that can prepare some of the projects and push some of the agenda. Or those who are in health can know who is working on pandemic fund in various institutions, and that can help. Having worked at Africa Development Bank for 8 years, most of the colleagues in multilateral spaces find it hard to share these propositions, but the diaspora team can just profile and share an example of how Rwanda does it or Senegal does it. But we thank you for the forward-looking foreign policy statement that you shared today. It's for the next generation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daktari. Again, that is an assignment for my team, beginning with the ambassador here, and connecting to all the other colleagues at the ministries, whether it is health, whether it is environment, and all the other colleagues. So I think we have some assignment there. I'm told there is no student who has...
yes, Your Excellency. I wanted a student at least to talk and represent the student fraternity. No gender balance?
Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Mama Rachel, and all protocol observed. Good evening. This is Hemston Mabonga, student leader under the umbrella called KESCA. KESCA is a Kenyan Student Studying in China Association. So we have 17 city-level associations under the umbrella. And I want to confirm, my major issue was, I want to confirm because the business has confirmed that they have a cordial relationship with the ambassador. The professionals have also confirmed, and I wanted to not to be left out as student representative. We are working well with Mr. Willie Bett, the ambassador. Madam Lynette, and the education attaché, Mr. Albert. You can just wave it. Actually, we are feeling their presence because I'm from Wuhan City. I traveled all the way to Beijing to meet the president for the first time. Yeah, sure. Okay, that's a lifetime handshake. Thank you. Thank you.
Make sure you don't forget the issue.
Yeah. I won't forget, actually. It's a compliment. I'm not complaining. We are used to complaining, but it's a compliment. I want to appreciate, I attended your morning session, and I admire to have the same knowledge you have in future. That is, I learned something very, very important in the session. I don't want to share with you because of time, but I will share with my friends when you leave. Otherwise, I even forgot the issue, but it's okay. Otherwise, keep lobbying for the scholarship slots. More scholarship slots across levels, undergraduate, masters, and PhD students. That one, you'll have helped students who are here and who are intending to come to advance in education. Thank you. I'm a mathematics teacher, and there was a session, a proposal of kukuza mulima ya mathematics. Please don't. I'll be jobless. Thank you.
Okay. I think there was a suggestion that mathematics be made optional, but I think that is what the mathematics teacher here has an issue with. So I'll get the Ministry of Education people to explain what they mean. But your perspective has been taken into account. Again, the issues of scholarships to provide opportunities for Kenyans to study abroad, whether it is in this country or elsewhere, both sponsored by Government of Kenya or other philanthropies, or in consultation with the government of this country to offer scholarships for Kenyans. That is an area of cooperation that we have built on. As you heard me say this morning, we have, over the years, got sponsorship for close to 4,000 Kenyans who have studied in this country in different aspects, some paid for by their parents, majority through scholarships and other interventions. We will continue to explore opportunities for scholarships as we expand the horizon of knowledge, skills, competencies that are necessary for us to drive our own development and provide an internationally recognized workforce, not just to work for Kenya, but to work globally for any part of Kenya. I have so much confidence in Kenya's human resource that I am not ashamed that if they went to work in any country, they will let us down. They have always been outstanding. Believe you me, I have been to many cities, and the compliments I get for Kenyans working, whether it is in West Africa, I was in Ghana, I was in Congo Brazzaville, and I found the manager of the hotel I was staying in was Kenyan. And there were huge compliments as to his style and professional leadership of those institutions. And that is why I have no reservations whatsoever in getting as many opportunities as possible for Kenyans to work anywhere in the world, because I am confident about their professionalism and their competence. So again, the way to sharpen our human capital is to make sure that we get them the correct training, the correct knowledge, and that is why we are investing 30% of our national budget in matters education. It is the highest in our region. When I came into office, I added another 127 billion to education, because our human resource is the most critical asset that we have as a nation. And that is why my good brother here, Karani, can confidently say last year our diaspora contributed close to 600 billion shillings to the development of our country. That human capital is what defines Kenya. And that is why whenever there are opportunities anywhere in the world, including what Amma just said, in the UN system, we must fill up with Kenyans. They will do a good job, they will make us proud, and they will send some money to Kenya. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Let me just allow me, Your Excellency, to give just, I know time is not on our side, just to give a vote of thanks to everybody, starting from yourself. At this point, we want to close with a word of prayer from